I'm a big fan of my 13-inch MacBook Pro. I'm able to do a lot of things with it. It doesn't do everything, but I really do like it. The biggest problem I have with it is there's no real case that I like that fits, that doesn't add a ton of bulk. And a lot of the kind of sticker application things they can get, like dbrand or slick wraps, can be expensive. And in my experience, I've had a little trouble putting them on in the past when I had a 2015 version. I got a new advertisement the other day for FishSkyn, and it wasn't all that expensive, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look and see what it looks like on and explore the process of it to see if it's any good. Now, I got this thing the other day in the mail. It was, I think, $28 for a top skin and a bottom. I didn't get the inside one, which was a little bit more expensive, just because I don't like how that personally looks. But the general idea here is you get this little package in the mail. It was $3 for shipping, so nice, inexpensive shipping costs. You open it up on the back here, and you get this big brand yourself, and here's how it works. Basically, I have a 3-step process. You peel off the back, you align it, and then you stick it down. Nothing too big a deal. There's also a link to a video tutorial that will go over how to do each piece. When I pull it out of the little casing here, you can see there's 2 parts. One, this is for the top lid, it has the Apple logo in there, and then one that has little cutouts for the feet. And there is a notch up here. I don't know if you can see it all that well right now, but there is a notch to account for the air vents and all that on the hinge side. So there's only one way that this aligns and only one way this aligns. So let's go ahead and align them. All right, so the first thing it says to do is grab a wet paper towel and wipe down the entirety of the MacBook just to try to pick up any dirt, fingerprints, oils, just kind of try to clean it a little bit so you get better adhesion. So get that all done. It doesn't take a lot of work. And it's ready to go. The next step is we're going to grab our skin here. There's a thin little area here that's cut around, so it gives you what the device is. And then you also have the cutout areas with the little logo, which I wish they didn't put on there, but whatever. So the next thing I'm going to do is peel off that outer edge, which looks like that. And that reveals the outside shape of your MacBook. The video recommends then to peel off just a little corner here and start to rip it. So get a little bit exposed and just rip it all the way down. You don't want to take the whole thing off apparently because it makes it harder to align. We're basically just trying to stick a small area and then we can put on the whole thing. So again, I'm going to line this up. We're just trying to make sure the corners look aligned. Apparently if you mess up, it's very easy to get these up. So I'm going to do my best to not mess up, but I'm going to mess up. And we should have a little area that's exposed around there. They said about 0.5 millimeter, which is pretty small. All right, that looks about as good as I'm gonna get for right now. You can see there's definitely some air bubbles and stuff coming in here, but that's also beyond that. So the next thing is to flip it up and just peel this back a little bit more and bring it down. And if you did everything right, see the Apple logo lined up perfectly. And you're just kind of pushing everything in here. See those giant air bubbles? They don't seem to be that big of a deal to remove. You just kind of gotta use your finger to push them all down. And it goes into place relatively easily. They also suggest possibly using a credit card if you can't do them by hand. I'm gonna come back and work that one out later, but we'll see how this all goes. Now I remember from my old experiences of these with slip wraps and dbrand, this is a pretty common kind of issue, so I'm not too worried about it. But we'll do all of that. And I have a big bubble there in the middle that I need to work out. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a credit card and get it sorted.
A few moments later.
All right, so I found a AAA card from 2015 that was somewhere in my wallet. And I'm just gonna use that to try to help me smooth these things out because my fingers aren't working all that well. And this does actually work pretty well. It's not that big a deal to do, just a little time consuming, but it does seem to be helping all of these little air bubbles slowly escape. And for the ones where it gets hung up, you can just use your fingers to press them all down. All right, I'm just giving that a good rub down there just to make sure that adhesion works well. You can see over here, it's a little more exposed than on this side. That's okay. Not too worried about, especially the top, I'm not worried about that with. I'm more trying to go with the look for this side, and the bottom is where I want more protection. I wish there was a company that sold things along the edges here, just a little bit. They'd be super ridiculously hard to align, but again, this is fine, but all these side edges are open and exposed pretty much no matter what without a case, so I don't like the ding possibility with those, but it's there and it lines up, but whatever. All right, so we have this done. It looks all nice and good. I'm very happy with how that looks. Now let's flip it over and do the back. Again, I'm gonna do the same exact thing, just give it a quick rub down, remove any of the random particles or things that may show up on there. In my house, it's mainly dog hair, but I'm gonna get rid of that. And then we're gonna take a look at this guy. This one should be easier because there's feet to align everything. Even the instructional video, the guy had some trouble with the bottom because there is more alignment that's necessary. So the same setup here, remove that. And then you can see that there's a little notch down here that aligns with the hinge. So I'm gonna start off the same process here, just remove a little bit, tear, and bring it all the way across. Probably get a little more on this side. Cool. And then we're gonna slowly align it. We're gonna start with just getting 1 foot set in there properly and hope that that's proper and really lock it down the best as possible. And then we'll do the same thing with the other foot and lock everything down fully properly and hope that we get it all right. And the only other thing they really suggest to do is make sure you push these corners in real nice and tight because apparently they can lift a little more easily because they're obviously the spots that get touched the most. Now you can see there's lots of exposed edge along here, but I guess there kind of has to be because that's just how the computer is. But if we take a look here, the top looks way better than the back does, unfortunately. But this is the end of the C. This is the business end. This stuff here, I really only have a little problem down there that I'll try to fix off camera. I'm even getting rid of it some now. And then I'm pretty happy with this though. The only concern I have is that in the past, these type of wraps that I've had are much thicker. These are kind of thin. They show that you can put a drill up to them and it won't damage your computer because this stuff will protect it. I'm not gonna try that. I'll take their word on that part. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with how this thing looks. I'm happy with the installation process. It wasn't really all that long, complicated, or hard. There's a few little alignment things I would like to change. Perhaps see how this edge comes all the way out. It's nice in there. But this one, there's a thin little area there. If they could just make it a fraction bigger, be better. But for right now, I'm happy. All right, so after about 10 minutes worth of work and kind of getting out all the bumps and stuff, this is the end result. I dig it. I really like the design. I like the wood, the white, the blue, all the colors just work really well together. And I mean, for 10 minutes worth of work to add just a little bit of protection, but also to really personalize this, and I can take this off really easily. It leaves no residue. I'm a big fan. I think I'll be picking up some of these for my iPad when they release the ones for the 2020 iPads because they don't have them yet with the new camera cutout. But this thing looks nice. It feels like it will at least stop basic scratches and all that kind of stuff from happening. And yeah, I'm a happy customer. It looks good. It feels good. I wish it was a little bit more sticky feeling. The original MacBook is very slick. This is a little less slick. It's easier to hold on to, but if it was just a little more tacky, it would be awesome. But I understand why it's not. The materials and kind of making sure it's sticky and on the other side and all that makes sense. But I think it looks great. I'm happy with it. And I don't think there's anything else on the market that has the style that these have. That's what really drew me to them, was that a lot of them have pretty much the standard textures, flat colors and all that. But this has nice designs that I think are going to stand out. And also, I dig it. So again, happy customer. Glad I had a chance to install it.